Morning, everybody. Welcome to Lockpod, Season 12, Episode 9. Coming live. This is the Midwest Most Dangerous Podcast, and we're coming live to you from the Nika IBW Power in Indiana Lake County Studios.
I thought I missed the belt loop, but I didn't.
Did you?
No.
Dude, so last night, hey guys, morning, Joe. Hi. How's it going? Hey,
morning.
So last night, Kevin and I are doing pre-show, and it's late.
It was late because we had two different events that we had.
Eight.
Call it 8:30. 8:30. Yep.
So I'm driving home. Just minding. This is like a perfect example of you could be minding your own business, doing your own thing, and then your life is just like changed suddenly, right? So I'm leaving Kevin's office, and I realize there's a lot of people that don't realize where we are, but it doesn't really matter where we are because it's not the location that matters. It's just the fact that I'm sitting there waiting to turn left, and there's like I'm in a busy intersection coming home, and off to my right is like traffic flowing. It was like a left turn.
Are you stopped or are you on
stopped
a green?
I'm the front row stopped.
Okay.
It's 8:30, right? So it's post rush hour, and there's two lanes of traffic from my right turning left. So they're going to go opposite direction I'm facing, right?
Yep.
So they're turning in front of me, two lanes of traffic. It's not rush hour, but it's not dead either. We're in Munster. It's like busy here, right?
Sure.
So there's a decent amount of cars turning left on a green line, a green arrow, and I'm just sitting there listening to Billy Strings, just chilling. And I see this car coming from my left to my right, goes straight through the turning cars, like 70 miles an hour.
Oh, boy.
He didn't even stop, dude. He just like rode right through a red light.
Like had to go through the turning traffic?
He went through two lanes of turning traffic.
Whoa.
Without stopping, Kevin. Oh, wow. It was just like shocking. It was so I'm just sitting there like, what the? Like he went ping, like right through, didn't hit one car.
Wow.
He didn't hit
Thank
anybody.
God. Thank God.
But
not because he's a great driver,
somebody.
but because he's an asshole. But I mean, I think that's the thing that's, and I guarantee you that like that's the kind of person just practicing personal injury law for 30 years. I can tell you that generally when that happens, like he's the guy that doesn't have insurance.
Yeah.
He's the guy that has a huge traffic record or a suspended license. And the people that get hurt or killed.
Yeah.
You know,
the nice people.
Yeah. They're the ones that, have
like
to,
just getting back from church.
Yeah, of course.
Right.
Or heading out to the grocery store, or going back from a kid's baseball game.
I hate to stereotype, but he's heading towards Illinois. Right towards Illinois.
Oh,
shocker.
Dude, didn't even freaking tap on his brakes. He went right through a red light, right through two lanes of traffic, and I swear he had a death wish. He didn't hit one car. It's a miraculous that he didn't hit one car.
We are definitely biased up here against Illinois drivers.
Yeah.
We say it all the time. Oh, Illinois driver.
Yeah.
Illinois driver.
Phipps.
Yes. We know what that means.
It's not Indiana people either.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's Illinois people.
Yes.
But like, yeah, it sucked. And thank God nobody got hurt, but it just shows you that we live amongst assholes.
Let's say he
Dangerous
did hit
assholes.
someone. Were you close enough, Tom, where you would have been a part of this accident?
Front row, John.
Wow.
I was front row in my Shelby.
And that happens too.
I would have caught shrapnel. I would have caught cars. Just sitting there minding my own business.
Yeah. Jeez. It's just dangerous. Well, thank goodness no one got hurt, but it's just like you said, you don't know, there's danger out there and you don't know what's going to happen to you.
And the crazy thing is he went straight through. It wasn't like he slowed down a little, let it clear, and then took off. He went fling, didn't even stop. I was just stunned.
And it's only getting worse.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of
out there,
freaking jagoffs out there. Yeah. Like the guy rolled his dice and he got lucky yesterday. But
we all did.
He's going to hit a car.
Everybody did at the intersection too.
That could have been a car full of our family. It could have been.
Yeah, I mean, it happens every day, and it's just unfortunate that people don't understand that when you're driving a vehicle. I mean, we all tell our kids, right? You're driving a missile, so you better be careful.
But our kids are not assholes, you know.
Agree? Yeah. I mean, well, I hope they're not. Yeah. I mean, I think we've told them enough.
Our kids are not assholes.
We hope.
Yeah. All right, whatever. Maybe I have one or two.
Yeah. I feel the same way sometimes.
I'm not saying anything.
No.
Love my kids.
I love mine too.
Yeah.
One of the things I want to talk to John about this a little bit. He and I, when we were in Las Vegas, he and I took several cab rides, but one in particular, we had to stop at the CVS. John needed something for his foot.
Athlete's foot.
Wait,
Let's just talk about this. Let's delve. What's wrong
shows
with your
how
feet?
old we're all getting.
Did
I
you-
mean,
Yeah,
we can't stand at a
John.
4-hour show anymore.
What's that, Joe?
No.
I said, did you lose a toenail or something?
No.
No, you know what it was? I took a pair of shoes with me to this trip that I really don't wear much.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that was the problem.
Really? Was it post 4 hours on your feet?
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
That
So
was
that
a-
didn't help.
But you
So,
can
you guys you went to a concert and you had to immediately go to Walgreens.
Yeah, exactly. For
to
relief.
fix your body.
For relief. Yeah.
That's so fucking sad, dude.
It is sad.
But you could see in John's shoe, like the
like wore.
He
like
was
a
starting
part
to
of it
wear. He had to get on his heel. So anyway,
Yeah.
on our way to
Fucking
CVS for a heel
They're
pad.
Yeezys.
Oh, well, that explains
Oh my
it.
God, the freaking Kanye shoes.
Yeah.
No
yeah,
wonder.
Which I love.
What the fuck do you
usually.
wear those things for?
They're, I don't know.
They're goofy looking.
John's thinking the same thing right
No
now.
thanks.
Why?
they're not
So-
made for actual wearing. They're for so you can tell people you got Kanye
You got to
shoes.
put the arch supports in those.
yeah.
The,
Do you do that? I do that.
Sometimes it depends on the shoe.
You ever go like
that's what you need to do.
Myers has that machine where you go there and you type in all your stats and then it has you stand on it and analyze your foot.
Oh.
And it says buy this. And it's like right there. Everything's right there. It's so
Of course
cool.
it is.
Because I have flat feet. So like it's like, dude, buy this. But yeah, they have
Interesting.
like all these different model like shoe inserts. And it's like buy this specific one and it'll fix your feet. And it like analyzes your
Wow.
feet and your body type and your weight. It only
like
takes
that.
like 5 minutes.
All right. I
Those,
like
those
that.
inserts are like $70 though, but hey, you know,
Film that when you guys go to Myers to do that.
yeah.
So on John and my way.
Yeah, this
to
is not the point of the story.
the
Anyway.
the CVS.
And by the way, I don't wear Yeezys. Tell people I wear Yeezys. The 350s are one of the coolest shoes. I really like the design. They're very comfortable. I was not wearing those. I was wearing
They look like Tic Tacs. Like big Tic Tacs on your feet.
Those were the 700s.
The ones you're wearing now?
All right.
These are
let's
the
get
350s. Yeah.
Oh, are they?
Anyway.
Okay. No, those are cool.
We
I
got
like
a
those.
photo of those.
No.
No.
The ones that look like Tic Tacs, what are those?
Oh, I know what you're talking. I don't have a pair of those.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know what
I
those
don't like
are.
those, yeah.
Those are kind of weird.
Weird, yeah.
So on our way to the CVS in John's Yeezys to help his
That are
heel.
digging into my
That's
heel.
right. We get in a cab, and I said to the cab driver, I said, "Hey, what's the deal with that car there?" And he's like, "Oh, that's a self-driving cab." I didn't because it had like a platform on the top.
Hold it. You had a dude in the car and it's self-driving.
No, we
No,
didn't.
no.
No,
Oh,
our
okay.
cab did not. We were in a regular
Okay.
cab,
All right.
and I said to him, what's the deal with that cab?" And he goes, "Oh, that's a self-driving cab. We have them now. They're testing them in Vegas, and it had like a platform on the roof
Yeah.
with a bunch of cameras coming off.
Kinda
Right,
look like this.
Kind of like this, yeah. And
Marissa and I went in one of those at
in
Camelback.
And it was
Yeah.
a disaster.
Yeah, but it didn't work.
and it went too slow, right? So
They kicked us out. It was like, I don't know. It was like booting up.
sounds like a great
Yeah.
experience. So I asked this guy, right? John and I are just talking to the guy, and he's like, "Yeah, they're starting to." I was joking with him. I said, "They're going to put you out of a job." He goes, "That's okay. There's a lot of jobs out here," which I thought was pretty funny. And then he said one of his friends worked for the self-driving company.
Yeah.
And I said,
yeah.
"Well, what does he do?" He's like, "Oh, he just sits in the front seat in case there's a problem." And then he
See, I
said,
needed
and,
that.
And he said, "Andy, listen to
I
this."
needed that. We didn't know what to do. And you're by yourself in a self-driving
So
car.
there was no person in the front.
No. Marissa and I
Oh,
were
wow.
like, what happens now? And then we got up and left.
So listen to this. The guy says, "Yeah, my friend gets paid a salary of 65 G's a year
To sit.
to sit in the cab." And he said, "And there's two
That's
people."
crazy.
Yeah, two people.
And he doesn't do shit.
He doesn't do anything. And he said, and it's a shift.
Except for you're getting driven around by a self-driving car.
Correct.
That's
you
what
get to sit in the, I guess.
Yeah. Like if I
at
died
the
in a
speed
self-
limit.
Right?
But why doesn't he just drive the freaking car if he's there?
I guess they're
It would
there to
save
test
so much
them.
money.
So at
it would
some
save
point,
so much money.
at some point, they're going to get rid of the guys, right? But so
Right.
this is the crazy thing. Not only is he there,
So it's
there's
not a like long-term job for
Yeah,
like
it's a
pension
short-termer.
purposes.
Short-termer.
You're like, I'm going to
Part-timer.
retire from this job. Getting driven around by
You're
a
gonna get
computer.
replaced by the self-driver.
Damn.
But the crazy thing
not,
is,
a,
there's
not a good future for that
there's
guy.
another guy in there. Two
Yeah.
people.
130K.
So 130K.
At the same time?
Yes.
Yes.
They,
Oh.
4-hour shifts. They switch after 4 hours. One guy goes to the passenger seat.
You
one
better
guy
like
goes to the
that
driver's
guy.
Seat.
Dude, I used to sit next to somebody for long periods
4
of time.
hours.
It's hard to do.
Could you imagine if it was somebody that annoyed you?
Yeah. You'd have to.
4
yeah,
hours.
that's a
It's
good
8
point.
hours, actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
4 hours in the driver's seat.
I
4
have
hours
a
in the
question.
passenger seat. 130.
Can they
grand.
show up to work drunk? They don't do anything.
I don't know. Probably not, because
Why?
if there is an emergency, they have to take over the car.
But they have a computer.
No, that's if maybe the computer fails you. But anyway, 130 G's per car in Vegas, self-drivers.
And they're making money, obviously.
And here's a question, because I have a question for you, because you wrote in these things.
Yeah.
So when John
Tried
and I
to.
were going to the CVS, our cabbie, who was awesome, by the way, to get to where we needed to go, because if you're on the strip, they have these huge medians. You can't get any, right? You can't really.
Yeah.
He did a U-turn
On strip?
on the strip,
Whoa.
down a while. So he did a U-turn on the strip, and
who
I was
did?
like,
The
cabbie.
computer?
No,
No.
our cabbie. And I was like, well, self-driver wouldn't have done that,
Exactly.
Gotcha.
and he would have been
Yeah.
driving the speed limit. Our guy
Okay.
was flying. It was great.
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
honking at people.
I was like, this is my
computers
guy.
aren't doing that.
No.
That's the
Yeah.
dumbest thing ever.
The self-driving car?
With a person in it.
I agree. But that's going to go away, though.
Yeah.
Because in Scottsdale, they didn't have people in it. They had just computers that didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
And didn't you complain that it was like going
It's
the
like,
speed?
it would
sounds like
have been
Arizona.
great to have a person.
It was going too slow, like the speed limit. and,
Literally,
like
that was
25.
the annoying thing because Marissa and I were in this hotel with like a very long driveway.
Right.
It was like a mile-long driveway, and it was like 15-mile-an-hour speed limit. It was stupid. The one that nobody ever pays attention to, right? Like, who drives 15 on that? Nobody. They're doing 40 on it, right?
self-driver
Except for
does.
the goddamn self-driving car doing 15, and you want to freaking pull your hair out of your head. It's like
As
the
all the other
common sense
cabs
test.
are
Yes.
passing you by.
And you're sitting there going 15 like an idiot because you're in a fucking self-driving
With
car.
no driver.
Right. So, like, that's why self-driving cars are going to fail. They don't pass the common sense test, like a human
right.
being. Like,
Like-
I'm not driving 15 on this street. That's stupid.
Right, like our guy taking the U-turn instead of like going in the driveway
Right,
of the hotel,
right.
coming back out.
Which would have
going
taken
around. 10
20
minutes.
Yeah. Right? Instead, you just do a quick U-turn.
Correct.
That's what self-driving cars can't give you.
That's
that,
the fail.
that human intuition.
There you go.
That's right.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think I've ever been in a cab.
What?
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 I'm going to take you to Chicago when we go to the Taylor Swift
Oh,
concert.
okay.
You've never
Andy.
been in a
That's a
taxi cab.
lie.
I don't think so.
That is a sheltered life.
Wow.
You've never
That's
been
good.
in a taxi
Well, she
cab.
takes
wait.
Uber.
Oh,
Wait,
maybe. Have you
no.
ever been in an Uber
I have not.
or a
Oh,
Lyft?
okay.
No.
Never mind.
Wow.
Dude,
All
what?
right.
Wait,
Self-
when you're like traveling abroad, what are you using to traverse to different
Trains.
places?
My feet.
Feet and
What about
trains.
from the
Like
airport?
oh, there's a tram or a train.
Wow.
Dude, wow.
We got to
I'm
get you in
gonna-
a cab. This is
We're going
20
to travel for Lockpod. We're going in a cab.
Yeah.
2024 is the year of the cab.
I want
for
a
Jill.
smelly ass cab driver just to break you in the right way.
The year of the taxi.
Like downtown New York, like
Yes.
dude with the
Yes.
white
Dude
t-shirt,
with all his shit
like
in the car.
pitted out,
Yes. Yes.
freaking 110 degrees in a cab. I
You're
love
not
it.
making this sound appealing. at
Oh
all.
yeah, that's the way it goes.
We wanna-
And then you got the plastic, so you're in the little pit in the back.
Yeah.
We want to make sure that you get the full experience, Jill.
I love it.
Like dried stains on the seat.
Yes.
Yummy. All right, let's. We gotta. This whole thing about I'm not a golf fan, okay, but this whole thing with Scottie Scheffler,
Scheffler.
I don't even watch golf.
Yeah.
I don't even know who this dude
Number
is.
one golfer in the world.
Okay,
Scottie Scheffler.
I don't know this because I don't watch golf.
When you told me you're like, hey, Kevin, one of your golfers just got arrested. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
We were in
He goes,
Vegas.
some guy named Scottie Scheffler. I was like, what?
Yeah, Kevin said that's not right.
I know, I did. I
He
said,
did.
no.
I was like, that is. He got arrested on the way to the golf course this morning. And Kevin's like, what? He's like, gonna win this thing. So this is a good story. This is a big story.
it's crazy.
I would be so pissed at Hammond PD if we had like a huge professional golf tournament at the Lost Marsh and one of our best golfers in the country who is in my city pulls up to the Lost Marsh and one of my officers grabs him out of his car and arrests him. I'd
Like,
be,
that's
I'd be
what-
upset.
That's what the mayor of Louisville probably woke up to, like a video
you-
of Scottie Scheffler being arrested in his city.
I bet you the mayor of Louisville.
Oh,
Once he
man.
found out who the cop was, the mayor is like, that mother.
He's
God,
like,
you
I
did
knew
what
it.
you did,"
Of course it's him.
Of course it's him. He's like, oh my God, it had to be that guy, right?
Well, I mean, kind of almost like I was talking to John about this. It's almost like, oh, it had to be that guy. But no, it's like, of course it's that guy because none of the other, the other cops wouldn't have done it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, of
There's-
course it's that guy.
Because I mean, Kevin, you remember when we went to Cleveland?
Yes.
You were with me when I almost got arrested, right?
Yes.
That was out of control, right?
Same
Whoa,
kind
whoa,
of,
whoa,
same
whoa,
kind.
whoa. Hold
Crossing
on.
the street.
We can't just like gloss over this.
Yes.
What happened in Cleveland?
We were there for that was Game 6.
Yep.
It was the day before Game 7. Okay?
Correct.
And we won. We were happy.
Yeah.
Cleveland was really not happy.
No.
Even the cops were pissed.
Yes.
So we're walking. I'm dressed in my Cubs attire, and we were crossing the street with a group of other people, like
Sure,
a lot
yeah,
of
yeah,
Cleveland
a lot of
fans
people.
too. And this cop singled me out and just like was irrational with me. He started talking shit, and that doesn't go well with me. So like, and I'm not afraid of cops because I work with cops all the time. So I'm like, dude, like, get control of yourself or something along those lines, right?
Oh, I'm sure that didn't help at all.
It did not help at all. But I was like, because he doesn't know who I am.
And it wasn't like, it wasn't like Tom was yelling at
No,
the guy.
I was just like,
the guy
get
was
control of
yelling at
yourself.
him, yelling at Tom.
Literally, I'm like, get control of yourself. You're freaking out of control. And he fucking snapped, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, everybody thought I was getting arrested.
Yeah, it was a little dicey for a second.
But I was like, but the funny thing, I'm not intimidated by cops. And I'm not trying to be cool by saying that. I work with cops every freaking day of my life. So, like, I'm looking at him like, you're a fucking asshole, man. Like, seriously, I'm not afraid of you. But, like, you don't even have control of your own, emotions. You're out of control.
And it was like a pedestrian line. I mean,
Dude.
we were crossing a crossway.
Why did he single you out? Because you were in a Cubs jersey?
No, there was the
I probably said something stupid.
the allegation.
Let's really get into this.
I thought we like started too early, or it was
That-
like
but that's what it was, Kevin.
Yeah.
But the funny thing was, the Cleveland fans. It was like, let's say this particular group we're walking with is like 90% Cleveland fans, and we're the Cub fans, right? and they didn't like us because we won, right? And the Cleveland fans and all of us started walking out at the same time. And then when he singled me out, he was going to take me down. I was going downtown, dude.
Wow.
And then the Cleveland fans were like, dude, you're the one that told us to do this.
Yes,
and
you're
they
right.
saved me.
The Cleveland fans came to
They
your rescue.
saved me.
You're
They're-
right.
And they were like telling the
yeah.
cop, you're a fucking asshole. That guy did nothing wrong. You told us to do this. And then he backed off. He was a total.
Cleveland's
but like,
a gritty city. That's
I-
why.
Yeah.
every time somebody tells me they're from Cleveland, I'm like, I almost got my ass kicked in that city a couple times.
Yeah,
Like,
on our way out.
I did not enjoy Cleveland. I thought it sucked. Cleveland. Sorry about that, Cleveland.
Phil chimed in.
The
and said,
mistake by the lake.
one cop told us to go, and
Thank
we
you,
did.
Phil.
There you
and
go.
the other cop yelled and told us to stop.
Thank
That's
you,
what it
Phil.
was.
Phil
It was
was
like
with
a
us
go-
too. And
Mixed
the-
messages. And
the
that's what the
Cleveland
Cleveland
fans
fans said.
saved
Well, he
us.
told us to go. He told us to stop. Phil's right. Yeah.
And this cop was out of control, and he was like raging, like, "Rah! I can't believe you did that!"
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, dude, get control of yourself. And he didn't take it well.
So fast forward to Louisville.
So I think that
Louisville.
the
Same
reason
cop.
we're telling that story,
Same cop, right?
they transferred this guy to Louisville. But I have a feeling it's the same kind of situation where it was just like a simple misunderstanding. And some cops, I love cops. I have tons of cop friends. Okay?
And they have one of the toughest jobs
Right.
in America.
But I think if you were honest and cops were being honest with you, they would say some of these cops are immature sometimes,
Or
and they lose their
over-aggressive,
freaking
and
right.
they lose
And
their cool.
if you do something and it's inconsistent with what they think you're supposed to do, they can't fucking handle it, and they'll snap on you. Right? I'm not saying that. I'm saying like 1 or 2% of the cops. Okay. 98% of them can handle it, right? But there's 1 or 2%, just like with politicians, just
And
like
lawyers
with
and everybody
with
else,
lawyers,
and-
with priests,
you
whatever,
name it,
right?
Right.
True. Not every priest is good.
Probably a higher
True.
percentage.
Thank you, Joe. Not every priest. You can't trust. If you get a large group of anybody,
That's right.
there's going to be some assholes in there. Okay, so I think we found the asshole in Louisville.
You go. And so
here's
So
why.
yeah, here and so just to set this up, okay, what had happened? If you hadn't heard about this, there's a major championship called the PGA Championship in Louisville at this club called Valhalla, and in the morning the golfers get there really early so they can get ready for their tee time, right? So there happened to be at the same time that the golfers like Scottie Scheffler were arriving, there was an unfortunate fatal accident. A bus had hit a volunteer and killed the person. And so there were a lot of police officers on scene for the fatal accident when Scottie Scheffler shows up for his workout.
And he might have been like entitled because he's the number one golfer in America.
Also had a pass, like his special
He has a
golf
pass.
right?
He's like, I need to go right there. I'm one of the players. I'm going to be the reason everybody's coming here is because of me. And I got to get there so I could get ready so that everybody could come see me, right?
Yeah, and we don't even know if that conversation happened, but he's
No,
he's
but
going-
like I understand like how he's
The
thinking.
mentality.
He's like he is special,
and he's like, I got to go to work.
right? Like you know what? If you go to Wrigley Field and you know one of the Cubs pulls up in their car, they're special. They
yeah.
could probably go around cops to get to Wrigley Field because they're special. That's the whole fucking reason everybody's at Wrigley Field.
The only reason there's a
right?
traffic jam,
There would be
right?
nobody at fucking Wrigley Field if those guys didn't show up, right? So like without Scottie Scheffler, nobody comes to the fucking golf course that day, Mr. Officer, right? So you got to let these guys in, you dumb shit.
And they could be confused.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just trying. Maybe he doesn't know he's a fatal accident. He's like, hey, I got to go this way. I think I'm going this way.
I
So-
think the car he's driving is even marked. Like they
Oh, I'm
drive
sure.
PGA cars.
It's a number one golfer.
Yeah,
So they announced that they didn't have any. So this is interesting. We're going to show the video that we do see. And I know and we've got some comments on it. But the interesting thing is that this officer was also disciplined for not putting on his body cam, which is supposed to be on. So there's no.
Listen.
So they confirmed yesterday there was no footage of the interaction between
Okay.
Scheffler and the arresting officer, Detective Gillis.
As mayor, when
Yes.
that comes to me, I assume it was turned off on purpose. That's my automatic assumption. I don't give a shit what they say. If you don't have the body cam's there for the officer. The body cam is there to protect the officer. If you're not smart enough, fellow officer, to put your fucking body cam on, and then you get into an interaction where you're at fault, you fucked up.
Do you wanna
You fucked big time, you know? And I just assumed you turned it off. So in this case, when I hear that as mayor, who works with police officers every day, he turned it off because
wanna
he didn't
talk-
like what he saw.
Do you want to talk about like the change in because this goes back to when you were one of the first mayors in Indiana to institute body cams. I mean,
Right.
you really were one of the first in the
Agreed.
state. Can you go back
for
to,
the
like,
whole
just-
force? I think we were the first.
Okay, yeah, I knew you were one of the first. Can you talk about like the change in attitude from
Yes.
the resistance you got to kind of where we are now?
When I first became mayor, there was talk of such body cams. This a few years in, there was talk about this technology, and we would talk to the FOP and for Fraternal Order Police. That's the union that represents the cops. The FOP would be generally opposed to it. Like, oh, it's Big Brother type of stuff. You guys want to see us and what we're doing. You want to make sure that we're always driving. We don't like it. That was like the whole pushback, right? And then as America started to change over the last 10 years, as America started to change and officers became scrutinized, and a lot of times we had a situation in Hammond where there was a video of a confrontation that happened with our police and a person on the street, and the video was coming from them. We didn't have any video
Before
ourselves.
body cams, the only thing you had were smartphone videos, and it was from the people, not
Right.
from
So
the police.
basically, the interaction would be taped and edited by the people that wanted to edit out what they didn't want us to see, and we wouldn't have any tape to contradict what they were saying. So we're going into court, and we're going into the court of public opinion, not armed well at all. So now when we started selling it to the officers differently, like, this is here for you, man. Because, you know, you could show what they're editing out because we have it ourselves. And it sort of flipped it for the cops. The police officers in Hammond, anyway, realized that this is going to help me and protect me, you know, because I'm a good officer.
It's seen as a huge positive now from the police department.
Because 99.9% of police officers are good people. And they're doing the right thing, right? And usually when there's something that happens, usually it's the fault of the defendant.
Yeah.
Like, usually when you go up to a cop and you're pissed off, you say things, and then you're like, I want to see that body cam. And when you look at the body cam, you're like, yeah, it's good. I'm not going to push the issue because you're acting like an asshole.
That's
in it,
right.
Right? And the cop acted appropriately. That's 9 times out of 10 what happens when there's complaints.
Probably more than 9 times out of 10, right? Yeah. I mean,
They see the video and they're like, okay, I don't want to make a complaint. Why? Because you were acting like a jerk. You were drunk. You didn't realize what you were doing. The officer acted appropriately the whole time. That's usually what happens.
And the other thing that I've noticed in reviewing these for cases with the city is that it's amazing to me how calm and collected and professional the officers are.
You know why? They know they're being taped.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know
That's
they're
a good
being
point.
taped? The person that's getting arrested.
Yeah.
The person, they're the ones acting a fool. Because let's say I'm a police officer and I'm an asshole. Okay? I'm an asshole police officer. I go about my day generally being an asshole. Okay? And then I interact with Jill and I'm like, you know, it's a heated conversation and I'm thinking to myself, this is probably going to be reviewed by my bosses, by the mayor, by the media. I know the whole time I'm interacting with Jill, I got a tape recorder on my chest and everything on this is going to be reviewed. So even though I'm an asshole, I'm conducting myself accordingly because I know this is going to be viewed, right? Jill doesn't know that. Jill's acting like, you know, like she would act in a situation like that, not knowing that she's going to be a star on the media when they play this tape in front of everybody, right? So usually the officer comes out in the better end of that deal because they know they're being taped.
That's a good point.
Right.
Yeah. There you go, Jill. Speaking of Jill, Jill's brother is a police officer, and he's a big dude.
And he never gets complaints, and he's a great officer, and he knows he's being taped at all times also. So
Kevin once texted me, hey, I'm watching your brother's body cam. And that was it. That was
Really?
the text.
Hilarious.
And I said, why? You can't
Everything's
lead with
fine,
that.
Jill.
I'm watching your brother's body cam.
Just for
He
shits
just-
and
that was a
giggles or
flex.
what?
Yeah.
Hey, we got off the story with Scottie Scheffler, though.
Yeah. So here's the video of
So this is a video like of taken by a media. It was a member of the media who knew that Scottie Scheffler was Scottie Scheffler, and he knew that the number one golfer in America was about to be arrested. So he taped it, and he was actually talking to the cops like, dude, you guys know what you're doing. You're arresting the number one golfer in the world.
Yeah, and so there was also released yesterday a dashboard camera from a police vehicle and a fixed pole camera from across the street that captured some of this.
Yes.
Okay, so basically,
There's Scottie Scheffler's car.
he just drove by the buses, and now he's driving up to the front gate, and a cop is chasing him. And
Ooh.
the cop
Pause it
hits
there,
him.
pause it there.
Pause it.
Yeah.
So Scottie Scheffler is driving up to the front gate, and an officer starts running after the car and slams, like, it looked like a clipboard.
Like his fist or something.
It looked like a clipboard.
Yeah,
into
you're right. It's a
into the
clipboard.
driver's side window. He, like, hits the window with it,
Yep.
which is...
And the brake lights are on, by the way, of Scottie Scheffler's vehicle, I think, almost the whole time. And you can see there's like a sandwich sign there that probably is like where the golfers go in.
Right. And then the officer reaches into the car.
Yes.
And grabs the keys right out. He doesn't say- forcefully. He, like, reaches in, grabs the keys, and pulls it out. So Scottie Scheffler's like, I guess I'm not driving anywhere. But the officer, like, granted, we don't see anything that happened that led up to that final confrontation. But from what I saw, the officer was acting like the asshole. And I have no horse in this race, okay? Because I don't watch golf. I don't know Scottie. I don't know the officers. But to me, I would be so embarrassed as the mayor of Louisville. I'd be so pissed at my police department if I was the mayor of Louisville. I would want to string somebody up. Can you imagine how hard they had to fight to get this type of PGA championship in their city, and one of their officers ruins the whole thing?
Yeah, so the allegations against Scottie are that he refused to comply with Gillis's instructions, leading Scheffler to continue moving his vehicle forward, with Gillis saying he was dragged to the ground by the PGA Championship courtesy car. You're right, it was marked. The officer received medical treatment after he suffered pain, swelling, and abrasions to his left wrist and knee, and his uniform pants, valued at $80, were damaged beyond repair.
I call that bullshit.
Well, he probably hurt his wrist slamming his
Right? I tell you, I think it's BS.
Yeah, we're gonna see what happens. The good thing is Scottie actually got out of jail and made his tee time, and his lawyer's saying like they're not gonna take a plea on this.
And Kevin, as a lawyer, when you see the way Scottie reacted in the press conference after, he was
awesome.
Totally supportive of the cops.
Yeah,
totally supportive of. I'm not anti-law enforcement.
Yeah,
I'm pro-law
yeah,
enforcement. I thought he handled it as well as could be handled. He got arrested before a freaking huge round of golf and treated like shit by the Louisville Police Department.
He went out there and
he
shot
went
4
out there
under,
and praised everybody.
500.
He I don't know this guy, but he seems like a total gentleman.
He is.
Right.
He's well respected. He's looked at on the PGA Tour as a nice guy. He's the number 1 golfer in the world. He's unbelievable this year, and he went out that day and shot 500 and came out at a press conference and say, look, I'm not going to talk much about the incident except to say, to me, it was a total misunderstanding and miscommunication. I support the police. They protect us. He had a couple of jokes about the guys at the jail that gave him a sandwich. He worked out in his jail cell, got ready for his pre-match workout. And so,
worked out
yeah,
in his
he did. He
jail
said, it's the
cell.
first time I've had my pre-match workout in a jail cell.
How did he go? How did he end up doing?
That day he shot 4 under, and then the next day he did not. He was his first round this year over par.
Really?
Wow.
But he shot
Probably
4 under that
effective.
day.
That day, 4 or 5 under, I think. Yeah.
Well, it's just unbelievable, man. It's just that's a stupid story.
So
Like,
sorry.
No, that's all right.
This cop not only did not have his body cam on, he's previously been suspended for 5 days for conduct unbecoming for driving an intoxicated civilian in his police car.
Whoa.
And proceeding to do donuts in a business parking lot. That's just one of a few things he's been disciplined for.
Yeah, that's the other thing. This cop now has all his personnel records out in public.
Right.
Here you go. It's because the national media is not going to let go of
Where
it.
does common sense start to take over in this situation? Like
Right.
there should have been like a supervisor called, like, hey, we got the number 1 golfer in the world in the back of my squad car over a bullshit charge. What do you think there, Sarge? Maybe we should let this guy go. He has to fucking golf today, right? No common
deal
sense.
with it later.
Like a complete lack of common sense.
Yeah, and they put him in a orange jump. Did you see the
like
prison
his
photo? They took this all the way, man.
Yeah.
They processed
Could you
him.
imagine, like, before a Cub playoff game,
Yeah.
right? Dansby Swanson gets arrested by the freaking by the Chicago PD. Like, can you imagine that? Nobody would call. Hey, we got Dansby Swanson in our car for a traffic incident. What do you think we should arrest him before the playoff game? Nobody says, maybe we should let this guy go. We're about to cause an international
We
incident.
can deal with this after.
Right?
Right, yeah.
Freaking morons.
No.
Louisville Police Department, an embarrassment to the state of Kentucky. Wow.
There it is.
I would be
Or
so
at least this
pissed if
cop.
I was the mayor. I'd be Louisville PD, Kevin. Because when one cop messes up, everybody gets thrown under the
get
bus.
shown, yeah.
Yeah, it's a complete embarrassment. I mean, it's a complete embarrassment what happened there.
He's also a detective.
Oh, my God.
Well, they said a lot of cops were on scene for the fatality, and they weren't like the regular detail for the traffic. Maybe that was
Which
part of
probably
it.
explains the lack of body cam. If
Yeah,
he's a
could be.
detective.
Yeah, could be.
If he's a detective, well, that would be a check in his corner. Because if you're a detective, you probably don't have access to a body cam.
Maybe you're supposed to though if you're on scene.
On
They
traffic?
said it's.
He
They
didn't
said
turn it on, right?
specifically
Yeah.
Really?
in the article. It said specifically that it violated policy to not have a camera.
I'm sure it did. But
Should have turned on his body camera,
Do
he never did
detectives,
not.
like if Captain Zeke, the captain of the detectives in Hammond, went out and did a traffic call or like helped directed traffic, did he put on a body cam? Probably not, because he's a detective.
In this
right?
incident, the LMPD, which is Louisville Metro Police Department, said yes, his body cam was there. He
Okay.
did not operate it.
That's not
in
good.
violation of policy.
Wouldn't you agree that?
Yes,
if
that's
you
bad.
didn't- Yeah, I just assume the worst. If somebody says officer got into a fight, Mayor, and I'm like, okay, can I see the body cam? And they're like, the body cam wasn't turned on. I automatically assume the worst. That's exactly where my mind goes to. Why wasn't the body cam turned on? Oh, they forgot. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's their insurance policy. I fucking paid $1 million in the city of Hammond for that insurance policy. If they don't turn on their insurance policy, that's like driving your car without insurance. You could drive your car without insurance. The car works, but if something happens, you're fucked.
Well, yeah, because they're like, oh, Scottie Scheffler's being an asshole. Scottie
Right.
Scheffler dragged me to the ground.
Right.
Well, where is it?
Where is it?
Yeah,
I didn't
'Cause
turn
now,
it on.
Now, guess what we have to do? We have to deal with all this other
Dude,
stuff that we're dealing
That
with.
officer would be going down so hard if I was the mayor in that case. Like, he would go down so hard.
The department said his failure to do so, meaning turn on the body cam, is a violation of LMPD policy. He did not have his body-worn camera operationally ready as required. He was performing a law enforcement action as defined in our policy. He was counseled by his supervisor. We understand the seriousness of the failure to capture this interaction, which is why our officer has received corrective action for this policy violation.
It's a good story. I'm glad we covered it.
We'll follow it.
Let's go ahead and do some. Let's do some ads, and we'll come back. I got a mailbag, and then we got an update on a story that we've been covering a couple times on Lockpod.
All right.
It's a JNC.
Is this cute little video going to be now or later?
Which video is that?
These
oh,
little girls.
Oh my God, we'll do that after.
really
All right.
Dude, you got to
We're
stick.
gonna come out of this.
Jill,
Stay
have you seen
tuned.
this? It's a
I have
TikTok thing. The British ice cream girl.
Oh, I did see that.
Isn't that
So
great?
good.
It's funny.
You have to stick. It's a TikTok.
Unbelievable.
It's a viral TikTok about a young girl in Britain that is pissed off about the price of ice cream. It's legit. It is so funny.
It's great.
So you got to stick. So we're going to
Stick
do
around for
mailbag,
that.
British ice cream girl, JNC, ads, and then we're going to come back and talk some weed. So I know.
Whoa, what a
Lockpod episode.
power-packed episode.
Without
Lockpod
weed.
episode talking about weed.
I don't think that's
Shocking.
ever happened.
Never.
If I do like marijuana search into Lockpod notes, it comes up with every episode, I think.
That's right, including a 420 episode in Michigan.
That's right.
That's right.
So, all right, let's go ahead and again remind you that we're coming to you live from the Power in Indiana Lake County studios. Power in Indiana Lake County is your source for the region's most trusted electricians. Are you thinking of finishing your basement, installing outdoor security cameras, or does your business have plans to break ground on a new project? Don't leave important projects in the wrong hands. With IBEW Local 697 electricians, you're choosing the highest level of safety and reliability. Visit poweringindiana.org today to ensure your project is in the hands of skilled professionals who deliver on time and on budget. Find your electrical contractor at poweringindiana.org.
Calumet Brewing. Michelob Ultra is a superior light beer brewed for those who understand that it's only worth it if you enjoy it. Containing only 95 calories and 2.6 carbs, Michelob Ultra is a light lager brewed with the perfect balance of hops and wholesome grains, producing a crisp, refreshing finish. With great Michelob Ultra partners like Lionel Messi and epic summer events including Festival of the Lakes, Team USA Soccer, and the 2024 Olympics, there is no better time to crack open a cold one. Head over to the Cal Brew or Michelob Ultra social media for info on this great family of beers. Enjoy the Michelob Ultra lifestyle with beers and cheers responsibly.
Bug Guy Pest Control. Are spiders spinning, flies buzzing, ants dancing, pests stirring, ticks ticking, fleas fleeing, centipedes creeping, pests pestering? Are bugs bugging? Give the Bug Guy a call today to evict these unwanted guests. Call 219-810-7481. That's 219-810-7481. Or contact the Bug Guy on Facebook.
Preston Insurance Agency. For decades, the Ron J. Preston Insurance Agency has been your trusted neighbor right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all your insurance needs. They specialize in a wide range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, and life insurance. The Preston Agency serves thousands of people and businesses throughout Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron or Ronnie today at 219-844-0103. They're here to protect what matters most to you.
Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and outdoor patio serving its award-winning craft beer, a chef-driven menu, and craft cocktails on draft. Their brewing equipment and production facility offer a unique backdrop for the events like bridal showers, reunions, or corporate parties. With their new food truck, they can cater to your corporate and private events off-site. Just off 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Discover more at bywaybrewing.beer.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon sets the gold standard in Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for their iconic red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia, de todo corazón.
Thank you to our sponsors.
Yeah, especially not especially, including our Power in Indiana Lake County studio sponsor. And by the way, just a couple of really good comments about the Scottie Scheffler story is Pete Vuletic said, plot twist, cops wife like Scottie. And Mayor Josh. We need to check the chief of police's FanDuel account to see who he had in the tournament.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
That's funny. Good job.
And John Bowditch, who is a retired Chicago police officer. I expect charges to be dropped. So there you go.
They have
I
to
agree
be,
with John.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. There's no way. And by the way, you know damn well that Scottie got the best defense
Immediately,
lawyer.
by the way.
I guarantee. Who wants to represent #1 PGA player in America? I'll do that one for free.
Yes.
Right? That guy's getting tons of publicity.
Sure.
Smith Sursick should have jumped
We would have
down
done
there.
it to
Dude,
John
hell yeah.
Cantrell, man.
We
Let's
drove
go.
our asses
All of
down
us.
there.
Let's go.
So, like, get going, right?
Yes. Kuklakis Law, whoever. Let's go.
Hey, we were supposed to announce Festival of the Lakes Act today.
What?
I
Yeah.
agree, and
Saturday night.
I'm sorry you did. I'm sorry that
It's
we
under
didn't have
contract.
that for you.
Well, it's not
is
100% under
correct.
contract. But we got
very
a deal.
close.
Whoa.
I expect.
I'm going to give a hint.
Don't give too much of a hint, but
I'm
maybe
not.
you can give the genre.
I am.
okay,
I am.
okay.
That's where I'm going.
So, and
Stop telling me how to like do this.
well,
okay?
I'm just being very.
Stop telling
I'm nervous.
me. It's
I'm
EDM.
nervous.
It's EDM night. We're going with EDM night. It's a
We're
big
gonna announce
it's a-
Tuesday.
Look at Kevin Pucker.
I know. I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh god, oh god.
We've talked about this for years. Okay, and we're doing the concert format like we started last year. Every night at festival is going to be free this year, as usual, except for Saturday night, which is a concert, and it's a big time name, and it's EDM, which is
It's a new genre.
We're going for a younger crowd on Saturday. We want to see how we do with this new genre of music. We've never had an EDM act before at the Festival of the Lakes, and so we had to go out and get a big one, and we did.
So
A
get
big
ready.
one. We're going to sell out.
Everything should be announced on Tuesday.
There's going to be
crossed.
like typical. A lot of people that normally go to the fest are going to be like, "Who the fuck is that?" when we announce it. But like when we do show you our ticket sales, you'll realize who it is.
There you go.
Okay, because it sells out. This is going to sell out. It's a big time act. So
Oh man.
Get ready.
yeah, so we're going to announce it hopefully on Tuesday.
Yes, that's
Okay.
what we're working on.
So come back on
we're
Tuesday
really close.
for the final announcement on Festival of the Lakes.
One more.
Oh, we
have
do.
two of them. We have
Friday.
Wednesday night and
Yeah,
Saturday
Wednesday,
night.
excuse me, yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
And they're
so-
both like really close. So.
Okay, well, good. So anyway, we got a
That
mailbag.
got me nervous.
It's a mailbag. Oh, first off, John, we got a mailbag.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were doing the British girl.
So did I.
Yeah. Are we not doing the British girl?
I sort of follow the script, you know, and when it has mailbags
Wait a
before
minute.
the
Wait a
British
minute.
script,
Wait a minute.
I do like to follow the script. I don't know if you guys knew that. We've been
Did you?
doing
Well,
this.
the British ice cream girl was before the ads, but I mean, just if we're
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah, let's talk
yeah,
about
let's
following
talk
the
about who's
script.
following the
Well, I'm
script.
still
here.
on script, not
Okay,
100%.
No, you're not.
You're really not.
All right. Okay.
Mailbag.
All right. I still maintain that we should have taped John back in season 2.
Yeah, I
Made
his
it
felt-
button.
his mailbags in season 2 were money.
They were.
He's fucking mailing it in. Let's
Maybe
be
we can go
honest.
back and just record it.
It's not even.
His
that's a good
lips are
idea.
getting older,
Dude,
I think
something's
since,
going on
since
with those
episode
lips.
since season
Yeah.
2.
Let's talk to Amy about what's going on with those lips. I'm not sure what's up. So.
Oh man, you can, but that's gonna be quite a story. Man.
We don't know if it's good or bad, but it's a story.
This mailbag is not a formal letter.
It seemed like it was like notes from maybe your staff of a phone call.
Yeah, it's
Is
like
that
a-
what this is?
Yeah.
I was wondering.
Because it looks like maybe it's Alex's or Christy's handwriting or something.
But it's like a stream of consciousness. Like I think the way this went down is there was a person that called in and they were just sort of venting to my staff, and my staff was furiously scribbling down
Yes.
notes as they were coming out of the.
Agree.
So this is not a traditional mailbag. Usually traditional mailbags are actually edited letters sent to me, but this was so good and it's long, so I was like, hey, I think this is a mailbag.
Maybe that's why we didn't get as good of a lips from John.
I'm gonna
You
put
know,
this up
it's
on the
half-assed.
screen.
You know, it's kind of like this is a half-ass mailbag. This is a half-ass intro
Half-ass
to mailbag.
lips. Half-ass
Half-ass
lips.
lips from John.
Half-ass lips.
There you go.
There's
We
the
got our
title.
story
There's the
title.
title.
Half-ass lips. All right.
All right, here it is. Wait, am I doing it?
Yes.
Oh, I was
Oh
waiting.
shit! Sorry. Mailbag.
That was there.
That was like season
You know
two.
what?
Good.
You're on your game now.
Yeah.
That was like
no,
season
good.
2 mailbag.
That was pretty
Yeah.
good.
All right.
When am I gonna get paid for these lips, man?
Ask
Not much.
Kellogg.
Not much.
Ask Kellogg, man.
Not much.
All right.
You pay, remember? That's
Yeah,
how it works on
exactly.
Lockbot. We pay. Kellogg makes all the fucking money. That's how it works. So like, just shut up. And, just
Okay.
shut up
Let
and
me do
be,
your job.
Sorry.
Just shut up and be entertaining.
Sorry.
That's Kellogg.
A lot of guesses in chat, by the way, about the
Oh, well.
Fest Act.
Don't
Yeah.
give
Well,
in.
do not
No
give in.
responses.
No,
I will
no,
be
no.
in big fucking trouble.
Yeah, well,
Like,
yeah, it literally would risk the act. So
Eileen's
that's it.
super nervous in chat.
Thank
She's
you,
like,
Eileen.
I just
"Stop."
said
Eileen and I are sitting here like-
EDM. There's people that don't even know what EDM is.
That might be true.
Okay, it's EDM. What does that mean?
We don't know.
I don't know. We're not confirming anything. It could be.
It couldn't be anybody. Don't
All
say a
right, here's
word.
this mailbag.
All right.
All right.
All right. So this is the day that I did the press conference. We talked about that. We had like
School
over
City.
50,000 views on that.
Really?
Yes, man.
What?
Holy.
Crazy. Pull it up, man.
50,000?
Yes. It was a big
Whoa,
time
that's
story.
approaching like Trump
we
parade
had
numbers.
How many people watched it live? Trump parade numbers.
That was 100
you're
grand.
right. It does
800, I think.
Yeah,
Live?
at one time.
800 live, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
50,000?
Fucking pull it up, dude. Kevin doesn't. I know
All right.
this fucking.
No,
tone
I'm
of
not
his
saying
voice.
that
I know the
incredulously.
fucking
I'm
tone.
saying that
I
like,
know the
wow.
tone. The tone is fuck you, Tom. That's bullshit. That's the tone.
Like you're embellishing,
So,
Mayor.
Yes, that's the fucking tone. Jana knows what I'm talking about.
I don't,
so.
All right, I believe you.
That's all I had to say.
50,000.
Jana knows what I'm talking about. I would pull it up.
50,000.
I'm pulling it up right now.
All right.
When was
no,
this?
It's just going to
here
prove
it
me
is.
wrong.
All right, I'm sorry, Tom. It's
What is it?
17,000.
All right. Thank you. I have been vindicated again.
17,000.
I have been like,
Holy
That's
shit.
on Facebook, though. We were live on other platforms.
Tom's
too,
like, I
so.
know
No.
that look. That
Huh.
look was justified.
That's
So,
those
like,
politician
it's kinda like, I have
numbers. You round
AFib.
it up.
My,
Remember, I have AFib.
yeah. The crazy thing is, I have a 12-inch penis too. I don't know if you guys knew that. Yeah.
Oh, now that is
Now,
true.
now
I was just in Vegas with you, man.
yeah, that is also an
That would
exaggeration.
have to do with
I was going to say now.
I'm Irish. We know that's full.
We know that's
Oh
not true.
boy,
Yeah.
you just lost Marissa there.
Oh, Marissa knows I'm full of
No,
shit.
she's
All right, let's move on. I'm in trouble.
Marissa's just
Yeah,
LOL
you're
in chat.
trouble. Yeah.
17,000. Shit, my bad.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's
You were
still
right.
a
That was
ton.
my
I
look
hate-
of incredulity.
And I read it, and I was
Yeah,
about to fucking call you.
you were,
out.
you were.
Yeah. All right.
Wow.
So this is the day where I got 17,000 views on YouTube. 17,000 solid, by the way.
17,000,
It is
50,000.
Way more than any
It
Lock
is
Pod
solid.
episode
It is
normally
solid.
gets, right?
Yeah, except for the Trump parade.
Yeah, except for the Trump parade. All right. So fight for you as you do for your staff was what this stream of consciousness was. Fight for us as you do for your staff. So this is the day I was defending my staff because we were getting beat up, right? Heard you today about being fired up about his staff. She points out that she's a Republican, but she votes Democrat just for me. Likes me a lot. Appreciate you,
positive.
Deb. Thank you, Deb. But I need to understand, and I need to have a little bit more poise, she says. I don't understand what she's talking about, being honest with you. No, I'm just kidding. I made a lot of citizens in Happen feel poor. No, the referendum and what's going on with the school city and made a lot of citizens in Hammond feel useless and poor, but you're
A straight shooter.
a straight shooter. What's going on with this thing is moving around? I was sitting there
It's
reading
here
it.
if you need it.
Okay, but you're a straight shooter, super independent. She's suspicious. Stop talking crazy to people.
That's not what that says.
What?
Superintendent.
Superintendent.
Intendant.
Superintendent.
Superintendent.
Yeah,
In-
it's suspicious. Okay, because I was defending the superintendent.
Oh,
Okay.
superintendent
Yes.
is suspicious.
Yes.
Whatever. Okay.
Sus.
Never understood where the money from the first referendum went to. Stop talking crazy to people.
That was my favorite part of this.
Loves
Stop
you.
talking crazy to people. Like,
Yeah,
what?
she must listen to Lockpod. Loves you. Thinks you're great. What's this
See,
one on
I
the
thought
side?
there was a lot of positives of this.
Feels for you, but will also feel for the citizens.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a lot there.
There is a lot.
Who did this? Was this Alex?
Do you
Not
let
sure.
your girls drink in the office?
Yeah, they do. There's a lot of drinking going on in my office. Yeah. I mean, doesn't everybody do that?
I
Well,
think so.
In defense of the staff, they were getting inundated with calls that day.
True
So
story,
This
Kevin.
is like one page of 30. So
But it made Lockpod.
it did.
Yeah.
So
So
good
Thank
job.
you very much, Deb. Appreciate the letter. And
Thank you,
I
Alex
will,
and Christy, for
and
taking
I am
good
going
notes.
to have a little bit more poise, and I'm going to take Deb's advice. And have a little
I
bit more
can't
Talk
even
about your-
imagine how many people have said to you, like, do this, do that.
Yes.
You should wear these glasses. You should wear this shirt. What about,
I love this.
Right?
So,
I mean-
Joe, when I first ran for mayor, okay, you were like 12 at the time, probably, right? So, like, when I first ran for mayor, I used to slick my hair straight back.
I
And
remember.
you
Oh,
do.
yeah.
And it was
I've
like
seen pictures.
straight slick, like old school, like
Mobster.
gangster.
Mhm.
Right. And I had long hair on top. So
Yeah.
I would just go straight
Which is so
back.
funny thing about that, because you haven't had your hair long in so long.
Right. But
Yeah.
like back then, that was my look, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be like hardcore gel right in my hair. I would never use a comb. I would just go straight back, and that's my look, right? And I remember a council person at the time called me up, very concerned. And they wanted me to win because they were against the mayor, but they were like, you'll never win with this haircut.
Wow.
Dead serious. Like, you got to change your whole look. Like, without changing that look, you will never be the mayor of Hammond. Like, I just want you to know, like, I know better than you because I'm a council person. If you don't do this, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. You know, and you hear stuff like this all the time, and you start getting in your own head. You're
Sure.
like, you start, like, not feeling comfortable in your own skin, combing your own fucking hair in the morning,
Wow.
right? So what did I do?
Knowing you didn't do anything.
I didn't do shit. I kept slicking my hair back, and I worked my ass off, and I became mayor.
Yeah.
With the freaking crazy mobster haircut.
There you go.
Yeah.
Which you now don't have anymore.
No, now I cut off all my hair.
Yes, you do.
But, like, that's the thing. Like, people get in your head, and
I
they,
bet.
like, try to, because you're unsure of yourself. I was running for mayor. I'd never been mayor before, you know?
Yeah, we had even had that mailbag, I think, a couple seasons ago where someone was about your pants when you were in front of the Navy guys. Right?
Oh,
At Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Your pants are...
A couple seasons ago. That was last season.
Last November. It was
it was on the front page. And then she told me I looked like a bum or something like that.
You're like,
freaking
I'm
Lulu's.
taking my Thanksgiving off of Friday.
I know.
You're like,
You look like a bum.
go
You're
talk to Navy
embarrassing me.
guy. Yes.
This lady was sitting there a day after Thanksgiving. Her mayor's talking to a bunch of squids on Thanksgiving, and she's like, I am so embarrassed at your pants. It's like, what the fuck? You're mad at my pants? I'm out there on Thanksgiving. For God's
Enough
sake.
to write a letter.
Yes, yes.
Dude, and tell me I'm a shabby dresser. Like, come
Thanks.
on, man.
Thank you.
It would take a lot for me to write a fucking letter
Uh-huh.
about anything, like a Yelp review,
Right.
anything, right?
Yes.
That shows you if
I've
you're
written some
truly
Yelp
pissed.
reviews.
If
Yeah.
you sit down and write a letter and tell the mayor his pants are jacked up, you're pissed about those pants.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
You're
man.
Right?
Not on
Your
those
pants are jacked. And they're freaking Lululemons.
Yeah, they were nice.
They're goddamn $150 pants. It's like,
And
all right.
apparently not up to the snuff for her, though.
Freaking, I don't know what I have to wear as mayor.
By the way, Alex's quick update. Alex says, I cannot take credit for that letter. That is Christy or Jessica. They're already
Stream-
throwing each other.
Yeah.
Stream
I
of
was like,
consciousness
not
letter.
my
Survival of
problem.
the fittest.
Yeah, right.
Survival of the fittest.
Survival of the- That's why you listen to LikePod in my office. They're like, not me.
Stop
Yeah.
talking crazy to people. Who wrote that?
Have a little poise. Yeah, it's probably one of my staff. There was no such thing as this
Yes.
caller, right?
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah, people are complaining about you, Mayor.
You put that comment box in there, and I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, right? All right,
right.
let's move on to the British ice cream girl.
Yes.
This is funny, man. So, like, you know, everybody's pissed about inflation. You know, in America, we call it Bidenomics. In England, they can't really say Bidenomics because, you know, Biden's not in charge over there.
Mm-hmm.
But she's still pissed about inflation. And she went to the local
Oh my
ice
God,
cream.
you mean inflation's somewhere other than the
Yeah,
United
right.
States?
Believe it or not, it's
Wow.
worldwide. So
Must
she
be
went to
Biden's
the.
fault.
There was an ice cream truck that came through her neighborhood, and he wanted £9 for her.
It's unbelievable.
This is fuck.
That's
this is
pretty
great.
even now, right? Pounds and USD.
$1.35 maybe.
Yeah.
So we're talking like $12?
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for an
Wow.
ice cream in a neighborhood ice cream truck, like 12
And these
bucks.
girls are not happy.
She is pissed about it. So here
And
we
by
go.
the way, if you know English accents, this to me, I'm just curious in what people think about where this accent's from. 'Cause
Sounds Irish to me.
It almost sounds like it's not from London, right? So here we go. Let's see what happens.
A young kid in England is going viral for her reaction to the cost of ice cream. Take a look.
Girls, what's just happened?
So, there's an ice cream van there selling just 2 ice creams with 2 chewing gums in it
Yeah.
for bloody £9 for 2 of them.
£9 for 2.
Yeah, £9. That is going to get nowhere. The one that comes on my street is either £1 a p or £2. That is going to get nowhere with that.
No, he ain't, is it?
No, he ain't.
That's well bad, isn't
Yeah, you
it?
should know. And he only does bloody card. Stood there in my cash. Bloody hell.
That's well bad, isn't it?
Bloody well bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Betty can hear me.
That's great.
This is funny.
I have never been so intimidated by a little girl. Looks like a preview from the new Netflix series, Young Peaky Blinders.
but he can hear me.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, I hope he hears me. And then she was like, yeah, it's like 1 or 2 pounds or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she's complaining that he only takes cards. He's
That's
like, I'm
my
standing there
favorite
with
part.
my cash.
That was-
I can't even. She's like, can't even pay with my cash. He only
Something my
takes
dad
cards.
would say.
Yeah, right.
So funny, man.
Which, by the way, I bitch about that too when people don't.
I
pay
agree with
cash.
you, by the way.
It's like, what do you?
bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's illegal. It's got to be
It's
illegal.
got. Well,
I
I mean,
agree. Why do we have Why do we have legal tender if they're not going to accept it?
and not only that, like there are some people that maybe can't
Right.
get a credit card.
Right.
Sure.
Right. Whoa, sorry, you can't come here.
You know what gets me? How about this one? You pull up and all you have is $100 bill. You you might as well be broke.
Yeah.
It's like,
Dude.
it should. I was thinking in Hammond we should pass an ordinance that said you have to take $100 bills. It's fucking legal tender.
Yes.
Screw you.
I like it.
I
Dude,
like it too. Like you
Tom.
don't have to do business here.
That would be amazing.
That would
I'm
make
not
national
kidding.
news.
That
Let's
would
do
be
You
because
have to
everywhere
take-
now there are places where they only accept card, and I'm like, there's no way that's legal.
I agree, John. We're in America.
Yeah.
You choose to do business in Hammond, you have to take cash.
Well, how about this? How about this?
do
The
it.
how about this? The
Do
place
it.
is now that if
I like
you pay
it.
card, you get to pay an extra 3%.
Right.
Because you're using your card.
Dude, I go into
It's like,
UPS the other day, and by the way, I'm shipping something out that was like $230, right?
Whoa.
And I pull out cash, and I only have hundreds, and
What?
they said,
Yeah, you may as well be broke.
but get this, it wasn't even like a reasonable like they go, we only take 20s or less. This is
What?
at the UPS
Yes.
store. 20.
Where
Yes.
does that get you? You can't
Dude.
even ship like to
It's so
Lansing.
So she goes, well, there's like a bank three doors away or whatever. I go there. You have to be a customer of that bank to get fucking change. So I have to drive to my bank. It was a whole morning.
See,
it was
man,
unbelievable.
That's
Sucked.
bullshit. That was in Hammond, right?
No,
What?
it was in Lance.
The rationale is
Kevin?
what? That they're counterfeit or
Munster.
something?
Yes.
Is that the
But like now they're saying 50s. You can't take 50s. Like what the fuck?
Soon
It's
it's gonna be you
American
can't
tender.
take 20s.
Get the freaking little pen and like
right market?
right. This is
Yeah,
it's,
where's the
it's
pen?
legal tender.
Does that not work anymore? The pen? Is there ways around
I think
that?
Kevin,
I think it works.
Let's look into this.
All right,
So you
I like
guys are
it.
just rolling around with hundreds in your wallet?
I sometimes will have a $100
Very
bill.
rarely.
We're not
I don't roll
we're
around
not
with-
living the same
I just
life.
got back from Vegas.
I don't have hundreds. I have
Yeah.
a hundred.
A hundred.
Like, oh,
For the week.
$100.
For the
That's
week.
how what I roll
I think
around
it's
with.
good to have cash on you. I really do.
I like
tell my
having
kids
cash.
the same
I don't
thing.
want
I
people
said,
looking
you
at my
always want to
shit.
have some cash.
I agree with you, man. And kids don't do that. But like the fact is, I think we should pass an ordinance in Hammond that says you have to accept everything, cash.
Legal tender.
You don't. That doesn't mean you can't use credit card. But if somebody has a $100 bill and they hand it to you, you got to fucking take it, or else
Wow.
you don't have to do business in Hammond. You can, get stuff in your store. It's legal tender. This is America. I didn't go to England. They're like, sorry, I won't take a pound here. What
Right.
the fuck?
I love it.
Right?
I love it.
I'm all over
it,
this.
too.
Yes.
I like.
You're
This is
on it,
how it
Kevin?
works, ladies and gentlemen. This is how it works in Hammond.
How to
Government
make the
in action.
sausage?
This is sausage. We are grinding sausage as you guys right before your very eyes. Hey, we did. City of Hammond filed a lawsuit against the state of Indiana a few years back in regards to the way we choose judges in Northwest Indiana, across the state of Indiana, quite frankly. But Lake County is treated differently than the rest of the state, along with Allen County, Marion County, and
That's it. Marion and Allen and Vanderburgh? No. Oh, St. Joe.
St. Joe.
Sorry.
Yeah, St. Joseph
Joe.
County.
Yeah, you're right.
So, Kevin, why don't you go ahead and cover this a little bit, if you don't mind? And
Yeah,
then-
so actually, Mayor actually had a good post. You want to read the post, Mayor, and why you kind of posted that? Or do you want to give the background on the
Yeah,
case?
give the
real quick?
background
Sure.
and then-
Okay. Yeah, so City Hammond, the mayor, an attorney named Eduardo Fontanez, and Senator Lonnie Randolph are the plaintiffs in a case against the state of Indiana and the Judicial Nominating Commission and the Election Board about whether or not the system that is currently set up in Indiana is constitutional under the Voting Rights Act. Basically, the allegation is that because Indiana has set up a two-tiered system where in about 87 of the counties or 80 of the counties, people get to vote for their judges. In 4 of the counties, there is a Judicial Nominating Commission in which they review candidates that apply, and then that commission, which is made up of different people, sometimes lawyers, sometimes citizens, sometimes both, then recommend 3 names to the governor, who then picks.
which basically gives the state total control over the judges in 4 counties. So in 88 counties, you could elect your judges, but in 4 counties, we're going to choose your judges. And by the way, those 4 counties also happen to be where
Two-thirds
of all African Americans live.
Yeah. And by the way, this is no indictment of the bench in Lake County or any of the counties that we're talking about. I mean, I really feel like we have good judges.
We do have good judges.
And great judges. And this is about, I think, what the mayor said in the past. It's like, this is about having 2 different systems that isn't fair. And you've even said, like, hey, if we win this case, if the city wins this case and the legislature decides to do judicial nominating commissions in 92 counties, so be it.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. I want to be treated. I want Lake County. I want those 4 counties to be treated like the rest of the state. And quite frankly, the reason they're not treated like the rest of the state is because that's where a heavy concentration of African Americans live.
And Democrats, by the way, but
that's another matter altogether. But what I'm saying is, so we filed. Basically, it's a constitutional challenge against this statute that says that in these 4 counties, the Judicial Nominating Commission picks the judges, right? And making a constitutional argument that Hoosier African Americans are disproportionately affected by this law, and we've been losing this case all the way up. But
So-
this case, in my opinion, we're going to the Seventh Circuit. We already know that, but this is the type of case that could go all the way to the Supreme Court, in my opinion.
Yeah, it could. And the district court judge, Judge Simon, who is in Hammond, really, great judge, in my opinion. He issued a long opinion where he said, look, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but he basically said, this is crazy. And I feel like this disproportionately does impact African-American minority voters. However, I'm constrained by the Seventh Circuit precedent that won't let me do anything about it at this point.
And he is the district court judge who has to follow precedent established
Sure.
by the Seventh Circuit. So he did, but we lost that case, air quotes, when I say lost, but it was like a good loss. Like a loss with language that's only going to help us when we go to the appellate court or maybe one day go to the U.S. Supreme Court. That the loss, air quotes, that we sustained in Judge Simon's court propelled us to the Seventh Circuit, where I'm hoping the justices in the circuit see what's going on and rectify.
It's a 3-judge panel in the Seventh Circuit, and they will hear just on briefs, and then they'll have oral argument probably sometimes this fall. But I think like you want to go to your post, because I would like to go to some of the stuff that the Solicitor General under Todd Rokita and his Attorney General's office said about this, which was kind of just mind-blowing.
So I posted this, and it got no love because it's one of those where nobody wants to go on the record along with me, So Tom McDermott post, want to read an excellent newspaper article where Indiana officials defend institutional racism? Just click below and read Indiana Solicitor General James Barta's comments defending the fact that 66% of Hoosier African Americans can't vote for their own Superior Court judges. He's defending 2 separate systems, one for white Hoosiers who can elect their judges, and another for Hoosier African Americans, 66% of whom cannot. Just another defense of racist policies that Indiana has been peddling for over 100 years.
Not a lot of comments on that.
No love. But it's true. It's one of those that's like, ouch.
Well, Tom, like as an aside, I don't know if you guys heard, but X just announced they're going to make all likes private.
What?
Because of this exact reason. There are people who want to like something
Right.
that's edgy, but they're afraid other people are going to see that
Yeah,
they
man.
liked it. So only you, the poster, can see who liked
I
it.
don't
Private
like
like
that.
I do.
Yeah.
It's like, because like what John's saying happened to this post.
Right.
This is a great post. Right, Kevin?
Yeah.
You don't think? I mean, honestly, I think this is edgy. It's freaking.
I think what I would say about this post is I think that you highlight the issue that just seems to not be like gaining traction on this. Like
we're losing.
Well, I mean, I think
We're losing.
It's an interesting.
We lost, and we're still losing. And if we lose this will never get challenged again in Indiana. Those 4 counties will always be in the dark ages. Hoosier African Americans won't get the luxury that other Hoosiers get.
And this is one of the quotes from the brief that I just found to be a little baffling, or there's a couple, right? Mr. Barta says that there's nothing discriminatory about Lake County's merit selection process for picking judges because it equally impacts every member of the Lake County electorate. Well, that may be true, but we're not talking about like Lake County being a state.
Meaning, like you and I are also impacted by this.
Sure.
And
And
we're not African Americans.
Right, that's what he's trying to say. But
Right.
it's like, no, that's not the point. It's the point that like if I live in Portage, I get to vote for my judges. If I live across, like 2 blocks over in Lake Station, I don't.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's
Isn't that
county
incredible?
to county.
In Lake Station, you could live on one side of the street and you cannot elect your judges, and you could walk across the street to Porter County and they're electing all of their Superior Court judges and their Circuit Court judges.
Right, and it's like, why? Why does that? And this is the other thing he says.
Maybe we're just dumb in Lake County. Maybe they're just, you guys are stupid.
He said minorities living in Lake County are empowered by merit selection because the nominating commission that recommends judicial candidates to the governor for appointment must include at least one member of a minority group, and the commission statutorily must consider that racial and gender diversity enhances the quality of the judiciary. So it's hard to imagine how someone could prove that the merit selection system for Lake County was the product of intentional discrimination where that system seeks to include minorities. Here's the problem with that. The problem with that, and one of the plaintiffs, is Eduardo Fontanez. And his argument is, I'll never get through the JNC, for X, Y, and Z reasons, but I could run for judge if they're elected.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, it's like they're looking at it flipped around.
How about this? One of the plaintiffs in the case, Senator Lonnie Randolph. Mm-hmm. He's a lawyer. He's in his 70s or so, right? In that ballpark. He's past his working prime.
Yeah, I don't think he's like, I'm going to become judge.
No, he's not retiring either.
Right.
He's still working. He's a lawyer. He's a politician. He had a great career. But you think that 20 years ago, Lonnie couldn't have run for judge in Lake County. He certainly could have run for a Superior Court judge. He could have been elected a Superior Court judge and had a totally different career. He could have had a career on the bench. He could have retired off the bench and had a nice pension, right? But he wasn't given that opportunity. Why? Because he's an African-American and he's a Democrat. And an African-American and a Democrat is not going to proceed through that panel and get chosen by the governor. So Lonnie, in his entire career, and there's a lot of people like Lonnie, like Roy Dominguez, and people over the years that could have run for office as a judge and had a career on the bench, but they couldn't because they were minority and they're Democrat.
And the other thing is that in the case that Lonnie's cause of action, and they pointed out, is that Lonnie would literally have to give up if he wanted to vote for judge, he would have to give up his Senate seat and move to Porter County. That's what they've said. Like, so
right.
if you realize, well, you could just, you can move anywhere.
Or they'll say, oh, you could get chosen by the governor. Like it's actual possible that a Democrat or an African-American would be chosen by the governor.
Yeah, and I think
get out of here.
Right, agree. And I mean, it could happen. No, it has, because what has happened in the past is what the Judicial Nominating Commission has done. They'd send 3 Democrats down. They used to do that.
Agree.
But anyway, outside of the political part of it, and just getting to the Voting Rights Act part and whether or not it impacts minority voters more, like this comment in the brief by Mr. Barta about, oh, don't worry, the commission, the merit selection protects you.
Right.
It's like, that's got nothing to do with, like, if I'm black and I want to vote for my judges, maybe I don't like the black guy you put up.
Right.
Or maybe I don't like the Mexican guy you put up, or the Hispanic guy, or whatever it is.
Right.
So, like, don't tell me, like, you're protecting me because you're making sure there's diversity in the selections. It's like, I want to vote. It's taking away franchise. Yeah. That's the thing. So again, if it was fair everywhere and everywhere's judicial nominating commissions, so be it.
Right. But
and the legislature could do that. You can't
pick. So what the legislature did is they picked the 4 counties with the highest concentration of African Americans, and they said, you 4, you guys are, you're not going to be able to elect your own judges.
It's
you're going to go through this arcane system where we pick your judges. It's bullshit.
And he also said, and one more comment. I'm sorry, I know we're getting long on this, but one other thing I wanted to say is he said that, it's important to adopt merit selection for Lake County. It's consistent with the General Assembly's decision to adopt merit selection for other large counties which need well-qualified judges to efficiently handle significant caseloads. That might have worked in the past, but Hamilton County is bigger than Lake County now.
Right.
So,
Can I say something?
Yeah.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
On its face. Emissions testing. No, you can laugh, but I'm
serious.
serious.
No, John, I'm laughing with you.
It is exactly the same thing. We're either all going to do it as a state or we're not going to do it at all. And
Right.
and number 2, I can't help but think emissions testing is like a tax essentially on the poor.
No doubt about it.
It really, I'm really bothered by the emissions testing thing, to the point of maybe we should let's file something about that too.
We'll become the
Secede.
Secede.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some ads, and we're going to come back and talk about some weed, and then call it a day.
All right.
I got to drive to Michigan City. So, Kuklakis Law. Are you facing legal challenges and don't know where to turn? Who are you going to call? Kuklakis Law. That's you. Look no further than Kuklakis Law, your trusted source for legal advice in Indiana and in Illinois. Do you need help buying or selling real estate? Call Kuklakis Law. Forming a new business? Call Kuklakis Law. Injured in a car crash or at work? Call Kuklakis Law. No matter what your legal issue, call 219-671-6347 to schedule your free consultation. Who are you going to call? Kuklakis Law. That's you. Hablamos Español.
Rogers Roofing. When you want the best for your home and family, trust the best in the business, Rogers Roofing. Rogers Roofing has transformed homes in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland for more than 55 years, providing quality roofing, siding, gutters, and windows, all backed by the best warranties in the industry. To learn more and to schedule your free consultation, visit rogersroofing.com or call 219-933-9145 today. That's Rogers Roofing or 933-9145. And remember, at Rogers Roofing, excellence is expected every time.
MCR Partners is your one-stop destination for top-notch experience in economic development, finance, and planning. With a dedicated team geared up to tackle your projects head-on, they're your go-to comprehensive solution providers. Dive into the world of economic development with MCR Partners and let them guide you through the maze of opportunities. Check out their website at mcrpartnersllc.com, or for tailored assistance, don't hesitate to reach out to Matt Reardon at 219-741-9511.
Misprint Printing. Elevate your brand with Misprint, the premier printing and sign solutions in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. With a 30-year legacy of excellence, their experienced team, led by Rick Baltensberger, combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs and printing, always on time and within budget. Conveniently located in Munster and Hammond, Misprint is your partner for creating impactful visual solutions. Visit them at misprintusa.com to bring your vision to life today.
Cantrell and Cantrell Attorneys at Law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law? Give us a call and schedule your consultation today with somebody who's in court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife, Kristen, make a great team and are waiting to hear from you.
All right. Thanks
to our sponsors. Man, we went off today.
Yeah, we did.
So
We're
finish it up.
One of my favorite episodes.
Oh, wait,
I mean about the
okay.
last story.
Jesus,
No.
man.
Like
I know
about
I have to someplace to be today too, but more people are smoking weed than drinking. Study from the Washington Post says.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
I don't know.
I believe it, by the way.
So the key about this study is you read the headline, you're like, what? But the key about the study is there are still more people drinking. The question of the study was, are more people using daily? So like the question was, are you using marijuana daily versus drinking daily?
Right.
And so that was really interesting because they said that in 2022, 17.7 million people reported daily or near daily marijuana use compared with 14.7 million people who reported drinking at the same frequency. So
See, the thing I think about, I think that it's a lot different. I think that smoking weed versus drinking, I think drinking is more impact on your day. I think that it's not smoking weed to a person that smokes a lot of weed is not the equivalent of drinking alcohol, in my opinion. It's more like a cigarette to somebody that smokes weed.
And
I realize that people that don't
said.
Okay, that's funny.
Yeah, the study it said that marijuana use is becoming more akin to cigarette use
for somebody that regularly smokes. It's hard for
Correct.
anybody that doesn't smoke weed to believe that because they take one hit and they get like sick to their stomach.
Tell me about it.
But like, what I'm saying is, for somebody that doesn't that smokes weed regularly, smoking weed doesn't hardly even faze them. Right?
Yeah, it was really interesting, and you're exactly right, Tom. Is that's kind of what they got into? That they said that while far more people drink, high frequency drinking among Americans is less common. The survey found that median drinker reported drinking 4 to 5 days a month, compared with 15 to 16 days in a month for cannabis for users, people that are considered.
And
themselves
and that's smoking, or that includes edibles and vapes and all that?
You are like right in on this article because they said that part of the increase in frequency is that once it's become legalized, which is 38 states now, not Indiana, 38 states, that you have different types of product like edibles and vapes, and you also have increased potency of marijuana in product, and decreased prices because the supply is there. So all the things that we've been talking about on LockPod kind of ring true in this study.
Right.
The other thing I wanted to mention is, before we wrap up, is this whole thing you've probably heard about moving from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 drug, and everyone's like, oh my God, what is it? What does that mean? I kind of looked into it. The key takeaway from that, which was really interesting to me, was that what it means is that when you go from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3, it allows all those tax issues to go away. You can now,
and
so
the
people
issues.
that work, the cash issues.
Right.
So now the Internal Revenue Service restrictions.
You could use your credit card.
Right, or you can get wages not in cash, like
True
stuff
story.
like that. I can get a mortgage now. I can say I have a job. I can apply for it. So
that's a great point.
Yeah, so it's important for the industry.
It's important, but the thing that sucks about what Biden's trying to do is he could have done this 3 years ago, and we'd be past this already. But what I fear is they're in the process of doing this, and it's going to take months for them to actually succeed. And in the meantime, I think that it's possible President Biden could no longer be President Biden. And if that's the case, Donald Trump would take over if this turns out to be correct and reverse everything Biden's trying to do.
I wonder.
I mean, that's easily could happen.
Could happen.
That's what sucks about what Biden's doing. Biden, if he does that in year one, his whole administration could have been different. That means we could have been selling weed in Indiana because the federal government got their shit together and our state didn't. And Hammond would be doing better because we'd be benefiting off of stuff like this, right?
Yeah, right on
it would have
state
changed everything. And Biden decided, I'm going to do this right before my next election, which is...
He's always been so anti-drug, though, man.
I know.
It's
his
true.
whole career.
That might just be a hard line for
I agree
him,
with you, John. It's his whole career.
I did read that the DEA kind of was dragging their feet on this, even though Biden was pushing it. So,
but he's the president, man.
I know.
It doesn't that doesn't work with me.
Because you're it's an agency.
You're the freaking president. Be a strong president. And, so that's part of the reason we're in this situation today.
All right. Now you can wrap us up.
Thanks.
What a show.
Yes. Wow.
Whew.
That's a lot.
I looked down at the watch. I was like, what? It's 8:40?
That was a lot.
We were vibing.
We did, and it's funny, guys. You guys don't realize, we have a script that we generally follow. But that whole first part was really not scripted at all. We were just flowing. The Cleveland thing. We were just flowing. So it happens sometimes.
Enjoy the flow.
That's why. Enjoy the flow.
Total 180 compared to Tuesday. We were all like,
tired,
strung out.
Yeah.
I had to leave.
Speak for yourself, buddy.
Not chemically.
Strung out.
I'm saying like just
Speak
we're-
for yourself, buddy.
Yeah,
I'm the mayor of a
I'm-
mid-sized city.
You know what I mean.
Yeah. Love you guys. Thanks for listening to Lockpod. Joe, great to see you. Thanks for being there. Jay Vez, awesome
man.
job. Kevin Chandler, thank you, sir.
Yes, just
and
a quick Memorial Day. Just remember those that gave the ultimate sacrifice
thank you,
this
Kevin.
weekend.
Thank you for keeping it real and enjoy Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
Be
keep-
respectful.
Yeah,
Memorial
absolutely.
Day weekend.
Be respectful.
Keep in mind where the benefits are coming from.
Mm-hmm.
God bless everybody. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Thanks for listening to Lockpod. We'll be back on Tuesday. Take care, everybody. Lockpod's out.